we are going to take advantage of the tools here that allows us to create automatically plan and profile sheets, right? So we're going to use this to do a plan elevation sheet. However, this tool tracks the alignment at elevation 0. So when we cut the bridge, and since the bridge is in 3D, we're going to see the bridge basically from the bottom up backwards. So we cannot do that. So to solve that issue and still taking advantage of this development, what we can do is to create first a model, a 2D model actually. So let's create very quick a 2D model in which we're going to use this as a reference. So I would say that I'm going to create a design model that is going to be a 2D. Let's call it for cutting sheets. Right? So everything else is fine. So saying this right now, so what we can do is attach as reference, right, the rest of my projects. So you can just go and attach as a reference file, even though it's a 2D file, attach the bridge and then all of the others tools that I need. I rename it master model and all the other element reference files that I need to attach for this, right? And this is my bridge 2, or so I think I can do this too. Take the default and put it here. Just do a fit view. And that's it, right? So this is the model I'm going to use for sheets only. So now I can go to the tools that we will develop. Say place name boundary, right? And start doing this. Now, on the other hand, I will take maybe a better preparation for me to see what elements do I need to or want to see, right? And according to your plans preparation sheet, it's better to do it here now. I can say, well, let's prepare these sheets and say that on my tools, the levels that I don't want to see when I cut the sheets are on the reference file, right? I don't, the reference master file that I have here, right? I don't want to see, for example, the default. I don't want to see the annotation code label. I don't want to see the bearings. I don't want to see the miscellaneous or the auxiliary, right? You can see the parapets, the sidewalks, and the superstructure, right? Now, on the deck side, we need to change because you want to see the deck outline, not the 3D deck. That's what you see. So we need to make a change on the element templates. But more or less, this is what you want to cut, right? So saying that, any other level that you may want to see, it's just a matter of activating. We can do it, as I said, I think we can do it either here or we can just do it on the drawing that is going to be generated afterwards, right? So this is the annotation, for example, too, and then also check the proper scale of the text size that I want to use, right? Let's see if you got a 3/16. It was 1/16, right? If it's defined or not. So this is the levels that I want to see, right? So now I can cut the tool here, go to the Open Bridge Modeler workflow, and say that I want a sheet. And this is going to be a plan sheet only first. On plan, the scale is going to be 1/16, right? I'm going to create the drawing. and say I want to start from here, and my start location is going to be here. My ending location, it should be okay here, so create only one sheet. Do it, accept it, right, and create the boundary, and let's call it plan elevation, and this is plan, right? That, I'm gonna create a sheet on the fly too with the proper scale annotation here, and I want to create a sheet model. The tail scale is the same as the annotation. Now it will be up to you if you want to send it to a different file. We recommend that, right? Because you want to create a different DGN just for the purpose of class here. I'm just going to leave it the same, but then you can send these to a different DGN file and a different drawing too. And that will do. So now I have a plan elevation sheet ready to go, right? Now the drawing itself, if I need any modifications, I can go back to the drawing and say, well, this needs to be moved, right? So I can just go and move it. I can use now so far the drawing tools here. So I can just go move it. Say, put it somewhere here, right? Also the display, how we can change the display options and all of that. It will be if I call my reference files here and say, this is the presentation, right? And then here, this is the view, or we can just handle this with display styles and say, look, I want to use here, this will be forward cut. Let's see if it does it. And then don't forget that when you send it to push it, right? Then it just does that. So basically here on orientation, just set it up to coincident word, and this is what you have. Oh, but you don't see the visible edges, right? So maybe we need to have in your standard display styles to define a display style that allows me to do this, right? So I use forward, as you remember that, and I want to see the hidden options or not. Let's try that. No, it doesn't do it. Oh, hidden edges right here. See, look, hidden edges. That's what I want to see. Right, so the wing walls and that, it's on hidden edges. The abutments too, and then this is not hidden because I see it from the top. Right, so this, it's my plan setup, and it's going to be the forward cut. So then we need to define in your standards a forward for plan elevation, maybe on the display styles. So we can make a note to Jimmy to set it up as a standard display style called forward for plan elevation, for example. So you can be able to see this, right? Or you can just make a copy and then just use it. So make a copy of forward, right? Let's name it underbar, so it goes to the top, forward for plan elevation. Right, so that this one is, it's local now, but then I think it should be on the master file, like this one exists on that DGN library, right, that you're using for display styles. Okay, so let's attach this one more time, forward for plan elevation, no, this one, and then right here, then we go back here, and that forward, I'm going to call it the forward for plan elevation. Hit OK here, and that will do. Oh, one more time. Right, it will be forward for plan elevation. Hit OK, and then we should be fine now. So then here, as this is set up in my sheet view, it will be displayed there. Right? Now the colors too, as you can see, it's hidden. It should be on a different color. So we just can go back one more time here, and on my reference, change that presentation one more time on the display styles. Right, to see which one should I go here on the display style, that I want to see that forward for plan elevation, right? This will be the visible edge. I want it to be all on color white, and the hidden edge, I wanted to see it by default or dash line, and the same on the visible edge, but with white. So now you see everything turns white where I need it. The alignment is dash because it's set up under the bridge. And then when I come back here on my plan sheet, everything was supposed to be the way I wanted to see. Right, so now I need to go and work on that profile view. So now, as I did the plan view in this respect, what I can do, and to have better control of what I'm cutting, what I can do is go now to cut the profile view. For that, I can use the regular cross-section tool in MicroStation, right? And then I want to see that I want to do a detail section. Right, so from here, I just say that I want a profile view right along the center line of the bridge, just to give me all these other options, right? And then all the way to this depth. Saying that, I will call it, this is the plan elevation, profile option, annotation scale if I need to, scale the same, right? And I'm going to create a sheet because I'm going to put it manually. So I will have there my sheet there. Right? Now, to control what is going to be displayed, I can just then go one more time to on the reference files, just need to go to that presentation here and say what I need to push, right? So here I would say that, just to double check, let me rearrange the views a little better. Right, so here on that presentation, one more time, just say that, let's see. Okay, so now how do I get from the previous view, all colorful, to this one? Very simple. I went to my reference files here, and on that view, I check on presentation and said that I want to use these new styles here, and I will push it to the view, and these are the styles. Now, how do I get these styles? Right, well, I mean, these styles, you can define it here, and I tweak these a little bit to accommodate for my needs. I call this cut profile for elevation. And these are the settings: visible edges, element, I want a white in dash, whatever the application is cutting, and that's it. Visible edges, just color white, and no hidden edges. Okay, as a difference, when I set up the forward cut that I used before, it was same visible edges, nothing to overwrite, but the edge settings of the view, I want it in color white, and the hidden edges is going to be by default dash lines. right? This is applied here. We can create another one too, right? And it tells you what is cutting, right? Like for example, this is on the section cut graphics, as you see, and this is being cut on the forward graphics. So I had it here, right? So now the next step is to go to machine and plug it in here, right? And to do that, easiest way, go here, profile, and just drag it here, put the center, maybe here, and that will be the profile, right? So now I can use the reference command tools like clip boundary. On the profile view, I want to use clip boundary and accept it. And I can use move to accommodate it better, but that should be enough. And if I don't want to use the symbol here, I can take the symbol out and just apply my own symbols. I can use maybe move to accommodate it a little bit better, but that will be that sheet created and is ready for annotation.